So the Mail and Guardian is in court on two matters this week, and both of them involve a piece of legislation called the Promotion of Access to Information Act. And what that act does is grant ordinary citizens and journalists and historians and others the right to request information that's in the possession of either public bodies, that's state organs, government departments, etc., or in the hands, in some cases, of private bodies and private companies. And coincidentally, we've ended up dealing with two of these issues at the same time. In the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria, we are facing off against the Presidency, who are in possession of a report that was done for Thabo Mbeki in 2002, ahead of those very contested Zimbabwe elections, which almost everyone believes were not free and fair. And that report was done by Judge Dikgang Mosnyeki, who's now Deputy Chief Justice, and by Judge Sisi Kampepe. And when he got the report, Thabo Mbeki put it in his desk drawer. It never went to cabinet. It's never been made public. And we'd like to know what's in it, given the positions that the South African government have since taken on those and subsequent elections in Zim. So our counsel, Jeremy Gauntlet, is arguing that it falls squarely within the ambit of PIA and that we need to be given access to it. Counsel for the government, Marumo Marani, is strangely enough arguing that any record that President Zuma has, because he's the president, is exempt from PIA, which obviously we think is a very dangerous widening of executive privilege. So a very important case from that point of view, not just from the point of view of historical interest around South African approach to Zimbabwe's disputed elections. Our second case is in the South Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg, where we are requesting from the FIFA 2010 Local Organising Committee records of all of their tenders and the hundreds of millions of rands that they've spent making the World Cup happen. And they've so far refused to tell us, so eventually we took them to court to demand the information. And there Jeff Budlinder has been arguing for us principally that the LOC is a public body and it exercises public functions. They, in a move that I think many South Africans would find strange and disappointing, have argued that they're completely private and that the World Cup is simply a commercial deal between SAFA and FIFA. Clearly, given the scope of the powers granted to the LOC by legislation in terms of setting up exclusion zones around stadiums, banning advertising, even powers to instruct the police whom to arrest, we think that's a ridiculous argument. So we're very much hoping that the judge in that matter will agree with us and that we will get access to those records before the World Cup starts. And if we do, we'll be able to tell you how the money's been spent, who it's been spent on, if it's been spent fairly, if it's been spent cleanly, or if possibly the usual suspects have benefited from those enormous flows of cash.